Hello, this is Gary in zone 8B, 9A, according to which chart you look at here in southeast Texas. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough on the garden, both the container garden and the in-ground garden. There's not a whole lot going on the in-ground gardening. This here is where I planted the Mississippi silver peas, the purple peas. You know, hadn't had much rain on it. Had a little bit of rain. They're starting to make some more. But I haven't taken care of these. A lot of it I left for the pollinators. They really like it. A lot of bees been hitting these blooms, and you know, if anything, just making some nitrogen because they have nitrogen fixation. But the weeds have kind of started coming in. I need to, you know, probably. We'll see if they make or not. They still got, you know, a month or so to make. Aphids have hit pretty bad. If you want to see the aphid damage, come on here. Here's all the aphids going on them. Now aphids are easy to kill. They just keep coming back. It's kind of like fire ants. And here they are crawling around. You can put on some insecticidal soap, which is pretty easy to make. I think it's 3 to 5 tablespoons of dishwashing soap, not dishwashing detergent. You want the lighter side, the lighter type that don't have all the harsh detergents in it, and spray it. And as long as you get them covered, it kills them. You got to cover the top and the bottom and all over. I haven't sprayed these any. Some people act like that they will balance out. I haven't found that to be true. Nature tends not to take. I tend to have to spray stuff because, you know, I try to spray the least environmental harmful stuff that you can, and insecticidal soap is about as easy as you can spray. Anyway, just walk up over here for just a second. I'll show you the beans that we planted here 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. They're coming up. Got some watermelons growing. The ones over here with some old seeds, so I got spotty germination on it. The other's done pretty good. This is a yellow wax bean. The other one is Haas blaze beans. You know, planting a little bit further apart. Something, I think, cutworms or whatever got into them some, and so that's kind of why they're spotty, because they came up and some of them died, so something's eating on them. And then we got the over here we've got the sweet potatoes that I'm kind of nervous about digging. It's been a rough year, lots of drought. I didn't get to water them like we needed to. I dug a couple of plants over here and they didn't have anything on them, which is not a good thing. I know on Lazy Dog Farm, he had too much fertilizer on his, and his whole bed was a loss. Mine might be too, I don't know. I haven't got around to digging it yet. We've been out of town. I'm going to be out of town some more, but we'll try to make a video of it if we can. And that's really all that's going on. We'll go to the raised bed gardens next. Okay, this is one of the habaneros or the rolle, whichever one. They're a heatless habanero plant. It's really starting to produce. It's gotten really big. I mean, I'm, you know, 6 foot tall, and it's, you know, pretty tall, doing good. It's now starting to put on. It kind of got big, didn't put much on, and all of a sudden, now that it's cooled off a little bit, it's just throwing a lot of fruit. It's got something that's ripened, and you see all the other fruit that's coming on, so it's really doing good. I need to go up here and harvest the ripe ones. Then back up over here, I've got the tomatoes growing. I've had to put this up to keep the chickens out. I was going to go ahead and cage them up, but then I got to think the stupid chickens might try to land in here. So far they've not flown over here, and got in here. That caused me a lot of headaches because chickens can fly, and I don't want to clip their wings to keep them from flying. You know, they're flying over the fence for the most part, but this one they hadn't flown in, so it's doing okay. They're starting to produce. I mean, they're starting to bloom up. I haven't been out here a few days. I don't see any tomatoes yet. It's still been kind of hot, but it's starting to cool down, and next week's supposed to be cool down, so hopefully they'll start setting fruit. And then it usually takes about 35 days, so hopefully, and it's going to take longer because it's in the fall, but hopefully not have time to make. They did get hit by some, the fire ants were eating on them. I didn't know what they were, and finally got those killed, so they started growing again. But, you know, fall tomatoes has always been a gamble for me. I haven't always done really well with it, but, you know, they are, you know, looking good so far, so we'll see. Let's go over to the containers. Okay, now we're in the front yard doing the container garden. This here is the Okinawa spinach, and as you can see, it's growing like crazy. If anybody's close by, wants to come by and get a cutting of this so they can start their own, that's fine. It comes from cutting very easy. I've even done it when it was like 90 degrees out, shoved it, in fact it was this one over here, shoved it down in the container and it rooted down and made it. And this here's the lemongrass. It's done really well, so it's really easy to grow. The oregano that got neglected and not watered is coming back. It's pretty aggressive. And this here's the thyme. It's done well. And this is the thyme that I got from the grocery store and just let it grow. Go up over here. This is the ginger. And you can see it's making it. It should grow a lot underneath it. We're going to see. It's what I did last time. I think this is only the third time I've grown ginger. I did want to show. I have 12 different cuttings of citrus. 3 of them are still alive, and I did these cuttings last November before the big freeze. So they've been sitting there doing nothing except for dying slowly. But 3 of them are still alive, and this one has put out. Now this all shoot came off in the last week. So don't give up. If they're still green, don't give up on them. It's made it. These here, you know, they haven't put anything out, but this one does still have an old leaf on it because I usually leave it on leaf on it. But there's my sprouts on my sweet potatoes that I've just let grow that I do for the Euromastis. Different basil, that's what you see. I got JH Adriatic on the fig that's done well, and I've thrown the covering over it so it would save the figs. They won't eat on it. All this stuff here is doing okay. And I know I need to start talking to the camera because you can't hear me when I turn around. It'd be nice if I can remember what flower this was. It's done really well through the drought. It's grown well, done nice. This is my coyote tomato, and it's starting to put on fruit again. It's done well. And actually that one was done back in the spring, and it had one that just sat there forever, and then I put it in the pot, and I meant to put the pot and put it in here, and I didn't, so now it's rooted into the ground. This here's my buckwheat, and I'm just doing this more or less to have something, you know, growing in here. And this here I've got one of the patty pan type squashes. They're not doing a whole lot so far. We'll see if they kick off and do better. Here I think this is a jalapeno pepper. There's one more squash down there. Again, it's not doing well. This here is my tropic snow peach tree. It's on its last leg, but it's still got a branch still left. I don't know really what's killing it. Maybe a bacteria canker or whatever. And this tree is about 10 years old or so, maybe 12. So it's just an old tree, and when they get old, they tend to die. Over here, some more of my fig trees that's growing. They're doing all right. There's my variegated pepper. Now, I still haven't tested any of the peppers, but it's doing okay. Another basil that came up from seed over there. And this here is my pomegranate. It's the pea paraffin. It's doing well, growing good, even though we're, you know, it's not full sun because the sun's back up over here. They'll get sun in about 6 to 8 hours maybe. And then here's some of the other herbs that are growing. So now let's go over to the other side. Okay, here we got one fig I thought was dead. It stayed dormant for a few months, and now it's starting to put out some leaves on it. These other ones, it lost its leaves and it's coming back. This here's a sweet leaf. You can take these and put them in your salad. They have a very sweet taste to them. My wife used to like to do that. She hasn't been able to eat salads here lately because different health reasons. Here's my lime. That is once again putting out, it's Persian lime. It's putting out some more blooms. It likes to put up blooms. It's starting to look better. It just hasn't looked well, hasn't grown that well. I don't know really what the problem is. This here, that's my nectarine, yeah. I don't know when they say nectarine. This is my nectarine tree, and Smooth Zest 1. That's one that was made by A&M, or developed by A&M. This here is one I made a root cutting of the Sweet Lemonade Jiu-Jitsu lemon tree. That's 2 years old, 3 years old. Here's one of my lychee trees that it's kind of floppy, but it is growing. It's got the nice leaves on it, so it's got good fertility to it. That's a Grumachamba. It's 6-7 years old and it hadn't made fruit yet. You can tell I'm a little bit annoyed by that. This is one of the gingers that I put in the pot and just see how it would do, and had an extra one that had an extra container, so I did put it in the fabric pot. You come on over here, you can kind of see it's starting to put on the new growth here and starting to grow some more. This is the old one here, but all this here is new. And there should be some more back down in here. We'll find out whenever we dig it up. There's another one of my sweet lemonade trees there. We'll come back around here. Kind of walk in circles, ain't we, son? This is a loquat tree, and they bloom. They're weird because they bloom in the fall, carry the fruit through the winter, and it ripens in the spring. And this is the blooms that's fixing to bloom out on it. So it's starting to push out the blooms on it. And I put this in a pot, in a container, so that way I can take it inside when it gets below, if it gets below 26 to 28 degrees, it's going to freeze the fruit. So the others I've got in the ground, so I've lost the fruit the last 3 years. The year before that I got fruit, and I planted some more. So I'm going to leave this in the container so I can move it in and out and see how that does, and that might be a way of doing it. Now let's go over to the other side. This is my other peach tree. Chocolate Beauty, I believe it is. Again, it's about half dead, but it's still got some live leaves on it. I'll push them until they die. Again, they've got whatever's killing them, I'm not sure. But peach trees here are very temporary tree. If you get 6 to 8 years out of them, is on average. These are about, this I think is about 5 years old, maybe 6. So it's, you know, peach trees are what they are. Around in Southeast Texas, they're not going to live long, especially you put them in a pot. It's even shorter lived. So something's got it. This is not the problem. That's false turkey tail on the mushrooms. That's because you got dead wood. It's not because it's killing the tree. It's just the tree died and then this grows. So that's not a symptom. That's a symptom, not a cause. This here's a lychee tree that produced lychees last year. I got the other lychee tree to get better pollination. It's doing really well. It's growing good, looking good. This is a longan tree. It's putting out some new growth on it also. It's looking better. It didn't put out any fruit this year, but it put on a lot of fruit the year before. I say a lot, it probably put on, what, 3 dozen? Which for that size tree is good. Then if we go over here, this company's kind of swath. Here's the blueberries, and let's see. If you want to know if these size trees need to be watered on, I gotta just pick up on them, and that's pretty heavy. So they're not lacking on water. Something's killing them. I don't know if that's the stem blight or what it is. But these are the oldest container fruit that I have. I'm guessing they're 10, 12 years old. Because I think we got them when my wife first got her transplant. That was 10 years ago. So these are, I think we got them before the transplant. So these are 10 to 12 years old. Not been repotted except for this one here. And it's, I think, Snow Chaser. So it's, you know, I'm surprised they lived this long, but you know, they're still doing good. And I'm in an area that can grow blueberries in the ground, so that may be what I do. In fact, the neighbor back over there's got 10 acres of blueberries. This here, I don't have to look at this and everything. This is my pumpkin mandarin. It's a really good tasting mandarin. It does have seeds in it, but it's got lots of fruit on it. It's growing well, looking nice, good, dark leaves on it. I don't worry about these. I just fertilized these the other day. I don't worry about these putting on new growth because I'm going to bring them in if it gets cold. So, you know, if you got them outside, you don't want to fertilize them after July 1st because you want them to kind of slow down. You don't want that spurt of growth in the middle of winter time. And back over here, there's my other fruit. What's this one called, Patrick?
Pomelo.
Pomelo. See, I was trying to test him. This is a really big one. And originally it's really big. It's only got 2 on this whole tree. This is not quite as big, so hopefully it won't break the branch. There's a Chandler pomelo, and it really looks healthy. It really looks good. But it's only got 2 fruit on it. But you know, 2 fruit and one's that size, that's doing pretty good. It's a sweet grapefruit. So basically you can eat it just like you would an orange. I keep saying that on different things. I know one of our pastor's wife said this is the sweetest, this is the best grapefruit she ever had, and I kind of laughed and said, well, it's not really grapefruit. It's kind of the precursor to a grapefruit. I don't really know why the grapefruit took off and this one didn't, but you know, it's got a different looking taste because it tastes like a grapefruit, but it doesn't have any of the sour taste to it, any of the tartness to it. So there's another one of my mandarins. This is the Clementine mandarin. It doesn't look quite as good, but it has got a load of fruit on it, and it is really hanging down. Somebody ought to prune it. I ought to cut back on the fruit, but bend it. This is the Myers lemon that's been in a container. Again, this is one that's been in a container 10 years probably, and it produces a lot of lemons. So Myers lemon is easy to grow in Southeast Texas. They're extremely hard to grow in a container indoors. So if you're bringing them inside during the winter time, they're one of the harder citruses to get to grow. It's one of those weird things. They don't like the light to change. So if you bring it in and you think, oh, it's not doing good, so you start moving it, then they start losing the leaves, and they just don't do well indoors. This is the other pomelo tree, and if you're not careful, this limb here did break. So I trim it off once, but I think we're going to make it to they ripen. It doesn't look as pretty, and I don't really know why, other than the fact it's got more fruit, so it just may be bearing more. Again, this here is the sprout on the rootstock. It's below, I think, the right here is where the graft was, so this is not good. You see it's got a different looking leaf on it, so that needs to be trimmed off. I guess I'm going to do that because I've been saying this for a while. And you just break it off. Break that off there. Keep all that stuff off of it because it's not going to ever produce any edible fruit. This is another one of the trees and they do this a little bit. This is another peach tree. It's either Tropic Beauty or Tropic Snow or Tropic Beauty, one of the two. And you see it's putting on a little bit of blooms. Anytime they get stressed, these low chill fruit trees tend to throw out some blooms. So in fact, it's actually, if you look right there, it's actually put on a little peach on it. Now the peach ain't gonna make it. The only hope you got for that little peach there is if it will make it through the winter time. I have had one do it, but it's not putting out a lot of, well, it's putting out more. But hopefully it don't put out, you know, you still got some flower buds on it, so, you know, we'll see. The figs are putting on their second flush of leaves. And one thing I say on your fig trees, if you've never done figs, every year they're going to lose all their leaves. You know, they're going to get diseased up. They're going to look like this here. They get that, I believe it's bacteria or viral, one of the two. Anyway, it gets these, or fungal. See the fungal, bacterial. They get these little lesions on it. They'll look like that. The leaves will fall off. They'll lose all their leaves, and then like this, and they start to put on, you know, some new leaves on it. They're going to do that. I know I seen one time somebody was buying some fruit trees from a nursery in Florida, and they were griping and said, I can't believe they sent us the diseased trees. They got disease on them. Every fig tree in the South has this. There's not a whole lot you can do for it. Most people, that's just what they do, and they'll drop them once, twice a year. You keep them well fertilized, well watered, they'll drop the leaves and they'll put some more leaves back on it. So it's not a big deal. Down south, we don't worry about it. It's not a thing that we're concerned on. Like I say, 2 weeks ago, if you had looked at this here, they'd lost almost all the leaves. Now they're starting to put the leaves back on it. So anyway, that's the tour for today. I'm not going to go through all the different figs because I don't know, there's a lot of them. But if you have any questions or any comments, put them below. I do like the comments. I will respond. Thanks for watching.